Welcome to the show. Today's episode is a special one. I'm going to go off one of the year's most anticipated releases, and in this video I'm going to look at Jesus is King the album and briefly the associated movie. Yes, it finally dropped after rumours, cancellations, leaked snippets and more. Released to extremely mixed reviews, Jesus is King to me is an interesting project, and as everyone knows, it definitely does not sit anywhere near his best, but I disagree with anyone who says that this is a bad album. If you look back at Kanye's history, he opened the decade with My Dark Beautiful Twisted Fantasy, and he's choosing to end it with this, and that's a journey. It's proof that Kanye is now a Christian champion through 11 tracks over only 27 minutes. Although this theme isn't new, look at Snoops Bible of Love or Chance's Blessings. During the recent Zane Lowe interview, he reveals his struggles with porn and sex addiction, in addition to his desire to mend poor relationships and become a better father, husband and person overall. From a production standpoint, Jesus is King feels familiar. He's taken help from Chance. A lot of those who produced Big Day are actually on here as well. On God could be on Yeezus, and Sellers Ending has a distinct Kanye feel. It's not surprising, Timbaland has a few credits along with Benny Blanco, Pierre Bourne and other newcomers. And that's not a bad thing, as those who hate his lyrics, which definitely aren't a strength this time around, will like the production for sure. Follow God, for example, has a phenomenal use of sampling and a bopping drum beat. It's a throwback to the Jesus Walks days. Kanye's use of horns on Jesus is Lord sounds clean and powerful, although I was disappointed this wasn't a full track as opposed to a skit. And Ty Dolla $ign's harmonies actually fit the album's Christian theme perfectly. Kenny G's beautiful solo transforms into a full track by the end of Use This Gospel, and it is definitely an insane standout. Speaking of lyrics, there are no sexual references this time, instead there is a pure Christian and God focus. A lot of the content sometimes references pop culture and the world, but it never strays from its focus. It's a refreshing change from the narcissistic side that we've heard from Kanye for so long. His mix of aggressive bars and simple statements contrast with each other and with his past work. Closed on Sunday, for example, details his new guidelines for living without temptations, saying we are nobody's slaves. This is in stark contrast to Yeezus' track New Slaves, which criticized the evolution of racism. It's an album that aims to emphasize some specific Bible verses and their holy message. He also talks a lot about his career regrets, about temptations and the devil. On God, for example, covers how he bleached his hair every time he feels he could have died. West's personal pastor even revealed that he had convinced Kanye not to quit rap. God is a confessional track. He references his freedom from past opioid addiction and is grateful for it. I think Jesus is King definitely falls prey to cliches and repetition. It's not quite the masterpiece that To Pimp a Butterfly was. Merging the secular and religious has definitely been done more subtly and cleverly by others this decade for sure as well. From the raw, almost unfinished vocals to the lyrics themselves, I think what people can actually appreciate from this album is definitely the honesty. The film Jesus is King was also shot in the Rodin Crater, an unfinished land installation that's never been open to the public before. It's a film that primarily focuses on live performances of his choir and hymn. It has highlights, but supposedly doesn't stray from the experimental realm. As Vulture said, it's a piece of art, a gesture of religious conviction and a shameless act of commerce. And it's from someone who doesn't know whether to express himself as a worshipper or an object of worship. And I think that was a pretty accurate description of the film. I think overall there is a definite beauty in Kanye's psychological movement here, using choirs, more simple grouped instruments, moments of solos and a fixation on simplicity. He's stayed away from being outspoken and he's managed to be controversy free for once. I think overall then, this is a great project, but it definitely has a vast scope for improvement. It isn't the end though, because Kanye has announced Jesus is Born, his Sunday service album, which will arrive in Christmas, if there aren't any more delays, which everyone doubts. There's no denying that this is good music and raises some interesting questions. And are we really surprised? This is Kanye West after all.